let's see where we're at today. All right, 66% done. Rural Racing Cup. All right, let's see how good we can do today on this one. Ooh, I'm actually in the front this time for once. Shit. Yep, that's gonna be a fairly consistent ongoing issue. Okay. Wait, is my NOS acting up? Yeah, I think my nitrous is acting up. Yep, it's acting great because I'm not even hitting the NOS button for this one. So I'm not entirely sure what's causing that, but yeah, that's gonna be a new additional thing for me for this one, because I'm pretty proficient. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure, yeah. Oof. Yeah, it's gonna be a little. Yeah, this race is going to be a little bit problematic. I think it might be my remote specifically that's either old or just acting up now. Because typically I don't see it doing that without just cause. Alright, let's see. Screw it. Okay, keep on the road, keep on the road. I think I genuinely like doing more jump tricks when I was in the derby, doing the derby versus the racing half now. Shit. Yeah, I can already see this being problematic. I'd still highly recommend this game for anybody who wants to try it out or who does enjoy it. Like if you're into a simple, like this is, in comparison, if you're gonna put this game up against like Gran Turismo, you're definitely not, you're gonna have, this is more comparable to a like more, I don't know, more cartoony arcade version of like Need for Speed at best, considering like, again, the emphasis on this game is more like carnival parlor trick, like crazy stunt type racing at best. Like you guys can clearly tell that this car isn't a very pristine version, and I'm in the racing category as we speak. And it's like it's meant for more of a visual stimulator than it is like, oh, if you're looking for more realism in racing. This is not at all. Like I'm literally, it's the button controlling and handling is vastly simplified for this game in comparison to most racing games that are out there right now. So if you bear that in mind, but still want to try out the game, I'd highly recommend it. But yeah, this is not like an overly complicated type of racing game in particular. I think I've already told the story of how I found the game. Like, okay, how about I just tell you the story from start to finish at this point, because I don't remember if I told you it, or I know I tried one time, but the audio got fucked up in one of the recordings, so I didn't get fucked up. I just wasn't recording it to begin with, so you didn't really get to hear it until me vaguely re-explaining it later on. So the main premise is the following. Back in the day when I used to go to the dentist in my old neighborhood, there was a, like, where basically where my the main street where, actually I'll just say, basically my original dentist used to be along Dundas. And in this case, the dental office actually ended up moving further, I believe it's east alongside ooh, nice, third place. I can deal with that. So the dental office actually moved further eastbound along Dundas, and at that time, I think that was when either my mom or my dad had discovered that there was this small mom and pop shop, this small Asian mom and pop shop that did like rentals, like you could rent DVDs, games, the whole line of yards. You could even like rent like full-out systems if they had the one you wanted available. And I think even DVD players too, because that was one of their primary sources. Actually, I think they even did VCRs to some degree. I vaguely bloody remember. Yes, Hoover? I'm currently recording, just so you know. So whatever you say gets cut out.
I was wondering why she was looking so twisty-turny outside. And then I looked up, and then I found out why she was looking.
Bird?
Her friend's bed.
Yeah.
That's why she was looking up at it. Like, oh, you fucker.
You son of a bitch.
You're back again.
You motherfucker.
Wouldn't let me sleep.
But anyways, yeah, back to the story. So essentially, my dad or my mom, at one point or another, while in the area, had discovered that there was a video rental store called Video 99. Again, this is further east on Dundas, but way before Ossington specifically. Now, I cannot remember as to at what point we ended up actually getting a DVD player in the house. All I know is at one point we did. And at first, Mom and Dad were cool about buying the occasional fucking DVD for like 10, 20 bucks, or like, sorry, like anything from 10, 15 bucks and below. They were pretty much more okay with the idea of buying, especially if they're like cult classics like Mr. Bean or fucking some Disney shit that went on sale, whatever the hell it may be. They were cool with buying those ones on the occasion. Now, not frequently, just occasionally. We had a fairly okay collection of DVDs, but it wasn't that grand to begin with. And then again, I think it was my dad at one point that had discovered or had realized that that they sell or they rent out DVDs at this local mom and pop shop. Could you fucking get out of my way? That they were renting out DVDs at this one spot that was along Dundas, and at the time we were living local enough to where it was a quick trip to pop over and grab a DVD or something. Now, again, at the time, I also did in fact own a PlayStation, me and my brother, my parents had purchased a PlayStation at one point for my brother originally, and it did get to a point where we initially started, we first initially started out with a PlayStation, like the original PlayStation that could already play DVDs anyways, before we had moved on to basically owning a proper DVD player. Now, again, it got to the point where, first it was just the idea, officially, Mom and Dad would, just buy the occasional $15 or under, DVD, just for the sake of having some entertainment in the household. But eventually, it got to the point where, they weren't going to be going out every bloody weekend or something just to buy a bloody DVD for everyone to fucking watch. It wasn't going to happen. So, at one point, I think, on an odd occasion, on an odd weekend, my dad was running a mild errand in the area and came across the video store. Walks in, rents a DVD, brings it home. Now, no one was anticipating this at all. He brings it home, and he's like, "Oh, I got us a DVD to watch." I think it was actually a Mr. Bean DVD in particular that he had actually rented, because I couldn't see my dad wanting to rent anything outside of that, unless it was maybe like a gold member or some fucking DVD or whatever. But primarily it would have been like a Mr. Bean type of, could you fuck off out of my way, man. Because I just genuinely don't see my dad ever going out of his actual way to purchase like, or get a, like rent a DVD that isn't something that my mom would also find entertaining. So that's kind of how it started. It was just solely over time getting these little DVDs and whatnot, and eventually I really like after going to the same DVD place or going to the same Video 99 shop, I discovered, oh yeah, they also do fucking video games, for in particular the PS2. Now initially I hadn't come across this game for a hot minute. Like it definitely started off with like, I think I started off with more of the open world RPG games, like more maybe a Ratchet and Clank, a Jack and Daxter type of game, or something along those fucking lines. It's something simple enough that was easy to play, like nothing overtly like I remember at one point, I literally remember renting out the fucking Shrek game at one point. And it wasn't, fuck off, man. This nitrous crap. Yes, Hoover? Yes, you are. But I see it in my peripheral, so I'm immediately inclined to ask, what's up?
Well, there's a showdown about to go down
Between who and who?
between Black Panther and
Pigeon?
the Falcon.
You mean Pidgeotto?
Yeah. Pidgey.
Hmm. It's gonna be a minute for sure. Just if anything, just record it and send it to me, or like show it to me later. I know you want me to see it, but I'm currently in game and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. Especially for something that has to be done on her time to begin with. Alright, so point being, I basically discovered that Video 99 does DVDs and games. I start small, work my way up from like open RPG games to a couple shooters here and there when I got bored enough to try something out, or if I remember seeing someone playing a Call of Duty or like a SOCOM or something, like anything that there got to a point where I just wanted to like stretch my wings in terms of like types of gameplays and shit. And at some point I came across, actually I think that was actually at the same time I discovered the game FlatOut 2 was also ironically enough around the same fucking time when I even discovered the game Backyard Wrestling from the same shop as well. And again, of all places to come across that fucking game, it just happened to be Video 99. I did at some point eventually end up finding it at the like the EB Games at one point too, but this was far later down the line after I had already like rented it out, like flat out, full out from the Video 99 store. So that, I think that was probably one of the moments where I actually went out of my way to purchase the actual proper game flat out versus just renting it outright and having to know that I would end up having to fucking, you know, rent the fucking thing versus owning the copy. So yeah, it was through Video 99 that I actually discovered not only FlatOut the game, but like both 1 and 2, but also the Backyard Wrestling series, which then led me down to discovering the music band ICP. But yeah, that's kind of how I came across FlatOut as a whole. And actually, come to think of it, I would love to find out if surprisingly enough, I actually managed to beat the fucking thing. But yeah, like I would definitely love to see if they even have Backyard Wrestling available for the PC, and I'd maybe definitely consider like turning into another series to show you guys what it's like to even play the fucking game. But yeah, it was definitely through the Asian mom and pop shop for DVDs called Video 99 that was along Dundas just before, way like a good block or two before Ossington Street. And yeah, that's kind of how I discovered this game in particular, alongside a couple others, but primarily is that one. And the joke was that at one point they actually were going out of business and they were flat out selling the actual games. And I think that's how, at one point, I actually bought the game for cheaper when it was not in the greatest condition, and I probably should have just waited and bought the fucker at, like, a copy at like EB Games instead. But I didn't. I waited. Actually, I ended up actually renting out, if I'm not mistaken. No, correction. I ended up seeing it at one point being sold at the EB Games, but never actually bought it until I moved. I think until we moved for a second time or a third time, and there was actually again a video game / DVD shop near the second area that I ended up living at in the era where they sold. I think it was both copies of, I think it was Backyard Wrestling or something. Like, I don't remember. All I know is that, like, I remember experiencing, like, coming across Backyard Wrestling specifically, and also FlatOut 1 and 2 at the Video 99 store before it went out of business. And not only rented it out a couple times, but even went as far as to purchase it at, like, pretty dirt cheap price, which was not fucking worth it. Her whisker came off? Oh wow. Her fucking whisker came off. What did she do? Scratch her face so fucking hard it like came off?
Oh yeah? I was just messing with her, and then all of a sudden I found it on my hand. I was like, oh, okay.
Great. Now you know that little baggie that I have hidden somewhere on the shelf in the little mug?
Of her teeth?
Yeah, with her teeth in her.
Put that in there?
Oh fuck yes.
Baby's first whisker.
Because I don't think we've ever come across one that just flat out fucking just fell
crazy.
off. Like it's not something you just commonly come by. No, highly doubt she's plucking. I think she just randomly was scraping too hard and it just fell off.
Like when she massages her face.
Or like she licked her cheeks too hard and it just popped off. Fuck off. But yeah, short story short, basically Video 99 was kind of the one place I went to, and the place I ended up going to get the games at the end of the day. Wow. I'll be completely honest, there is a point in time where this game kind of does lose its fucking appeal. Primarily when because for me, this game kind of conflicts me between, like, I want to get in a good race and actually get the best position possible and beat the race specifically, and to a degree I kind of like the carnage aspect of it, but there is a point where you do realize that there is a moment in time, like for example, I'm now in the racing class, and fuck me if these racers are not far more aggressive than they typically would be, and far more fucking annoying. Which I guess does add to which does add on a little extra oomph to the difficulty factor of trying to actually beat the fucking game, which I get that, but I don't know, it just seems there just is definitely since I'm currently playing the game as I am right now, and I don't know if I'm even gonna fucking pass. Let's see what happens. Oh wow, I actually got it. Second place, not bad. Okay, I can live with that. Tri-loop special, cool. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed me jawing off. Stay tuned for the next installment.